Ever wanted to draw muscles like a pro, but anatomy just scares the abs out of you? Well, fret not, because in today's video, I will teach you what you need to get started. First, grab a 3D model from the Materials menu on the right side. You can turn it around, change the position, zoom in and out, and more. You can open the model settings and alter the body shape, light source, position, and more. Feel free to explore the menu so you can learn all it can do. Now, let's introduce some must-know tools that will help you throughout the process. First, the symmetry ruler. You can use this ruler to draw symmetrical shapes. You can change its parameters in the Tool Property menu. You can choose the number of lines, the snap angle, and you can check or uncheck the line symmetry. A new feature was introduced recently, and that's the Puppet Warp. You can use this feature easily by going to Edit, Transform, Puppet Warp. You can now add pins to your artwork and move the pinned part as needed. Please note that you cannot use this feature on a vector layer, and you will need the latest version of CSP to have this show up in the menu. Now, let's address the difference between a vector and raster layer. In a vector layer, the lines are composed from mathematical equations, which means they do not lose quality and can be altered easily. In other words, scaling, transforming, and editing the lines will not mess with their quality. You can edit a line by simply holding Control while clicking the line. Movable dots will appear, and you can click and move them to change the line. Alternatively, you can go to the Operation tool, Object, and click the vector line to edit it. Please note that you cannot use the Bucket tool, Fill tool, on a vector layer, so use this type of layers for line work or sketch. On the other hand, raster layers tend to lose quality when you scale or transform them, and you can't edit them. Now that we have the tools sorted, let's dive into observing and identifying muscles. Our model here shows the upper body muscles. You can pause and read them slowly. You can find a 3D model with muscles linked in the description. Now, using the provided 3D model, you can import, change the position to what you like, lower the opacity, and draw over it, where you can see all the important muscles on top. I will not go into details on how to draw them, because that is covered with images and videos in my tutorial. Link below the video. All right, now it's sketching time. First, choose a suitable position for your model and add any props you need to your scene. Edit, scale, and move your object to compose the scene. Now group your objects together in a folder. Then lower the folder's opacity to around 30%. You can choose any pencil to sketch with. You can even sketch with a pen if that's your preference. Following the 3D muscles, roughly sketch over them while trying to remember what their names are, where they connect, and how they're related to each part of the body. This will help you in the future to draw them without relying on a 3D model. Once you're done, disable the model's layer and sketch freely. Now let's get to the line work. Create a new vector layer for this and follow your sketch. In this step, you don't have to adhere to the sketch perfectly. You can change and correct what's looking off. I do my line art using a G pen. Where the lines connect, I emphasize them by making them darker and adding more line weight. Now we can add some base color and shading to finish out artwork. Select base colors for your art and separately color each section of the artwork. Add some shading following the light source. You can use the previous 3D model for this. Color as per your style. Don't stress about making it perfect. We're just practicing here. Here I'm using the Painterly Smudge tool to blend my shading into the skin. You can add darker shadow to areas where light is less likely to hit. All right, this is it for today's tutorial. You can find a detailed one in the description below. Thank you for watching till the end. Comment muscles to receive the CSP 3D model for free.